Although expectations of a faster monetary policy tightening are rising in many countries, the US dollar is likely to close this trading week with losses. The greenback is losing value amid the growth in the stock market. In addition, appetite for risk has soared thanks to encouraging statistical data. In our video review, we will find out what events will shape the market sentiment next week. On Monday, traders may start selling off the euro. The decline is likely to be caused by the publication of the IFO Business Climate Report. The forecasts are extremely negative. The indicator is expected to go on falling amid the ongoing deficit in the manufacturing sector, which was caused by supply shortages of intermediate products. Since Germany is the main driver of the European economy, the euro may become less attractive for investors. Only a few important economic reports will be published next week. On Tuesday, traders will focus on the consumer confidence data from the Conference Board. Analysts suppose that the data will boost the US dollar. The report may reveal a rise in consumer confidence that has a significant influence on the US economy. Notably, consumer spending accounts for 2/3 of the US GDP. That's why growing consumer confidence is a clear sign of the US economic acceleration. The greenback is likely to gain in value against this background. We have already mentioned that many countries are planning to tighten their monetary policies. However, the Reserve Bank of Australia is hesitating to raise the key interest rate. On Wednesday, Australia will disclose its consumer inflation figures for the third quarter. According to the forecast, the consumer prices growth may slacken to 2.8% per annum, whereas the Reserve Bank of Australia's targeted range is 2 or 3%. Thus, the expected reading will suit the regulator's requirements for favorable economic conditions. Nevertheless, it's hard to predict the market reaction. Judging by the investment attractiveness of the Australian dollar, traders may start buying it. And at the same time, those who choose the carry trade strategy may sell off the currency, since the Reserve Bank of Australia will hardly revise the timing of its monetary policy tightening. Meanwhile, during the European session, market sentiment is expected to be more predictable. The US dollar is likely to receive support from Germany's Consumer Climate Report. Economists foresee that their indicator will return to the negative zone by November. The previous report unexpectedly unveiled the highest reading last seen in April 2020, whereas analysts had forecast a decline. If the negative predictions come true, the euro-dollar pair may slide. On Wednesday, negative news may also come from the United States. Analysts suppose that in September the US durable goods orders dropped by 1%. Nevertheless, during the US trade, market participants will pay the closest attention to the information from Canada. The Bank of Canada will hold a meeting during which it's likely to remain the key interest rate unchanged. However, the rhetoric could become more hawkish. The Bank of Canada thinks that the Canadian economy still needs overwhelming support. The regulator is planning to keep the benchmark rate at the low level until the economy overcomes the virus-induced consequences. The Bank of Canada expects inflation to hit its targeted level of 2% in the second part of 2022. And we will monitor the market reaction to the above-mentioned reports. Subscribe to our channel and follow changes in market sentiment with us. Any comments, questions and offers are welcomed. We wish you profitable trading. See you soon.